So we have had the delivery has arrived from BRC. Now this is incredible. We ordered this thing, I don't know, last week. Well, we didn't order it last week. It was shipped from BRC last Tuesday. It's now, I don't know, Monday here in Australia, and bang, here it is. So let's have a look at what we actually get. So this is the BRC Yamaha 500 conversion. So we've got a piston kit in here, which is super cool. Because I think they run a CR500 piston, which makes a lot of sense. That helps us, helps everyone, helps you get spare parts, top end stuff. What do we got here? Let me get a razor blade. Careful when you use these. Silencer. So they send you a muffler. Super hard to do when you've got one hand. A lot of things for me are hard to do when you're only using one hand. Okay. So we've got a muffler here for it. Titanium muffler? No, stainless. I was about to say. That would have been cool. This is just getting awkward. Is it painful to watch? It's painful to do. Okay, cut all that away. Do this properly. Tiger. Whoa. Check this out. This is pretty cool. Carbon, we love a bit of carbon here at Garage 11. Tiger Performance, wow. So this is all part of the kit. Like we didn't extra order this stuff. We literally ordered the kit, and this is what we've got with it. We're going to put all this back nicely because we don't actually need all of this stuff right now. BRC radiator hose. What do we got here? Tailpipe. So I think this is the intermediate section, because if you look, this has bolts on the end of it there. So I reckon that's going to be a bolt-on section to suit this bike. Cardboard? It even comes with cardboard. How cool is that? So what do we got here? An expansion chamber. Oh, this is the big long pipe. We've got to get our man Steve to weld up the radiators for us, which is fine. A brand new expansion chamber comes with it in a works look, which we love. Looks really cool. That thing's going to look awesome on the bike, especially with that stainless carbon muffler. That's awesome. So we've got that. Bearings, crank, seal, the cylinder head, ignition cover, kick shaft, water pump cover, and all the generic kit parts, engine cases, gasket set. So we won't pull it all open because I like to try and be somewhat organized with a lot of this stuff. We might just pop the barrel open and just see what we got there. Big barrel. Okay, here we go. Really need Marshall from Vision Concepts here, but he's off being useless somewhere else, which is fine. What do we got here? Big old barrel. Sandcast. This is going well, isn't it? 4 minutes of just me struggling to unwrap stuff. The road mic's just gone everywhere. It's chaos. Chaos in the streets. All right. There we go. love people who make stuff. It's so cool to see people going above and beyond to make this industry better, and BRC is definitely one of those. So I definitely like looking at the quality of this now is just unreal. Nickel barrel. This is cool stuff. Power valves already set up. Be interesting to see how easy, look at the size of the transfer ports on this thing, it's huge. So this is pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to hydroblast the cases, we're going to make them look a little better. We're going to, once we've got all that stuff prepped, we've then got to pull down the YZ engine, because I think we need all the clutch side of it. We need the gearbox, obviously. And that's about it, I think. Other than that, everything else sort of goes away. I reckon we're going to do something cool with what's left of this though. So, all right guys, wait up. We're just going to pull all this stuff apart. We're going to get it into the hydroblaster, clean it up, go through it all, start stripping the YZ, and then we should be good to start putting this together. We'll build this up, fit it into this big beast, and then see what happens. All right, let's unpack this stuff more and let's go to the hydroblaster. All right, the engine's on the bench. As you can see, we've got to get started in pulling this down. Shouldn't be too hard. These YZs are pretty simple little engine. Being a two-stroke as well, it's not overly complicated. So let's get stuck in. Okay, as you can see guys, we've pulled apart the stock YZ250 engine. Not too complicated, fairly basic thing to pull apart. We've got everything that we need from it laid out here. So as you can see, we've got most of this stuff we've got here will be going back into the BRC kit when we get the cases prepped, which is going to be next. Now BRC have done an amazing, like I personally have a big passion for manufacturing stuff, design, CAD work, a lot of that stuff. And when you look through what BRC have done and their technical bulletins and all that sort of stuff, it's absolutely unreal. They've put so much effort into this, it's just not funny. And anyone who thinks it's easy, or anyone who's quick to comment that, oh yeah, it's just another 500 conversion, go have a look at the technical bulletin. If you can do that better, then I'll listen to what you've got to say. If you can't, I'm not interested. So this is where we're at now, right? So this is, we've got everything apart. We've got this brand new 24 YZ250 apart. Now it looks like the crank we obviously don't need. All this gearbox stuff is going to be coming out. We've got to replace one of the bearings in the gearbox side with one they've supplied. So when we pull, because they've got all new bearings with it as well, so we'll just fit them all off. But they're very particular with what we have to do with it. They've obviously had kickstart failures or kickstart shaft failures, because looks like they've re-engineered the kickstart shaft to be a solid unit, which makes sense. You know, you're doubling the CCs, you're upping the compression quite a bit. That's going to definitely be a weak point. We're going to have to pull out these inner spaces here, which is easy enough. We just heat this up and we'll be able to pull them out. King Chrome making our job nice and easy. So yeah, like as you can see, so we've got all the bearings here, bearing kits, the balance shaft to get rid of the vibration out of it, seals, the crank's all in there, already balanced, ready to go. We're boxing this up. We're boxing all the old YZ stuff up because I think we may have something a little bit interesting to do with that in the works, but we'll let you know a little bit later down the track with that one. So what we're going to do, we actually have to press the water pump in here with a new bearing, I think they said. I've got it all written down there. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take these cases, we're going to clear our bench off, we're going to put all the bearings in here, prep these up, and then we'll start shuffling stuff across from one case to the next. There's the balance shaft area there. We blank off this. So once we get the bottom end together, the top end's going to hopefully be fairly straightforward because the power valve assembly on it is very basic. It looks like it's like almost karting base or whatever it is. It doesn't have a linkage mechanism. So yeah, like as you can see, the quality of this stuff is unreal. The way the thought process, the thought they've put into this is super cool. And for someone who's trying to get stuff sandcast at the moment, knowing how hard it is, this is really impressive. So stick around, let's get these cases prepped, and we'll start getting this engine back together so we can stick it in this thing and see what it sounds like.
You see me, you wanna get some. It's easy, cause I'm the best one. I bring it, it's all in good fun. But baby, this is your last one. Cause I'm the best one. The best one. The best one. The best one. It's all in good fun. But baby, this is your last one. Last one. One. It's easy, cause I'm the best one. You see me, you wanna get some. It's easy, cause I'm the best one. I bring it, it's all in good fun.
All right, as you can see, we've got all the cases prepped. Both halves are ready to go now. We can look at getting the gearbox out of the 250 and popping it into here. You can see we've put all the bearings in. We've got all that stuff. It was really, really straightforward, really well laid out, and all the bearings and stuff, as you can see here, BRC label what they are, what the part number is, as well as the seals. So it makes it really clear and concise where everything needs to go. All of the technical bulletins that BRC have on their website is absolutely unreal. Some of you were asking about the gearbox strength on a lot of this conversion stuff. This bearing has a lot to do with adding extra strength to the gearbox, and it will obviously where it rotates on. But I'll find out from BRC and I'll speak to Riley and see what he actually says from an engineering point of view as to why that makes a big difference. So yeah, so now we're going to be putting the gearbox in, we're putting the shifter drum in, we're going to be putting the forks in, the crank, and then we're going to be mating the two halves together. Then it's top end, and then we're starting to really sing along. We probably won't be too far away from actually getting all this stuff in and in place. So which is pretty exciting. We should be able to have this thing together and in the bike and almost ready to run pretty soon. The whole conversion's been, well, so far has been really easy. It's just a general engine conversion. Obviously, you know, we've been lucky we've had a brand new YZ250 to work with, which is a bit of a, not a very much a baptism of fire, which has been really nice. So it's been nice to sort of just get my head around the conversion, their process, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, like I said, this stuff has been really good so far. So let's get this gearbox in, let's get the crank in, let's get this engine together so we can start getting it into the bike. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to start getting into putting the bolting the cases together, as you can see, the counterbalance shaft areas going in, getting all the stator and rotor together. A lot of this stuff is coming together really nicely. It's really refreshing to have a conversion that does do and it goes together as simply as what this does. Obviously the clutch side and everything like that, we pulled across from the YZ, which goes on really easily. For any of you who are worried about clutch and gearbox integrity, because the gearbox moves slightly away from the crank because the crank is larger than a 250, the overall pinion drive gear is bigger, so your torque delivery to the clutch is 20% less, so it doesn't have that big of effect like you would think it does. So yeah, as you can see, we've sort of gone through, we're going to get through this, we're going to get the top end into it, the piston and everything on. It's all pretty basic from here, but it's been really cool to sort of get this engine together, and now we can sort of look at getting it into the bike and bolting it up and looking at the chassis side of this conversion over what the engine side has been. So it's been really good so far.